Hello, thank you for tuning in again. Today we're going to be talking about a brand new topic that we haven't covered yet on the show. Previously we were talking about internal audits, the importance of them, and making sure that they evolve as your management system matures.
And how fun they were.
But today we're talking about
a completely different subject.
Yes.
Today we're going to talk about a subject that's really dear to everyone's heart: corrective action.
Everyone's heart?
Well, the registrar's heart. Let's put it that way.
Well, it is an important subject, both for seeing improvements, but also to keep the registrars and auditors off of your back. So,
Right. And the amazing thing is, everyone recognizes, pretty much everyone recognizes, the importance of having a solid corrective action process. But it's amazing how many organizations actually struggle with this and in coming up with corrective actions that work.
yeah,
So,
if you really understand how it should be done, I mean, in a nutshell, corrective action should prevent the non-conforming situation from really ever occurring again.
yeah, ideally, yes. And as well as deal with the immediate situation that was caused by that nonconformity in the first place.
Right. So the question becomes, how do we do that in a manner that really works?
Yes.
Yes.
You were looking for a real answer?
Hopefully, for a change.
Well, the interesting thing that we see today in industry is, well, again, everyone realizes that fixing problems can make life easier and make you more important in the organization you work in. But again, very few have mastered the methodology needed to do this, and that's what we want to talk about.
Yes. So we want to share with you, it's a proven method for problem solving, and it really actually works.
And I invented this.
No, you did not.
Well, that's right. I guess I didn't. But my business partner and our president, Bill Hauser, he put this together. But even Bill didn't invent this. This is really something that's been used by the NTSB.
That's right. Yeah, National Transportation Safety Board. It's actually framed around what they do and how they investigate aircraft accidents.
And fortunately for all of us, this is a very effective method. And you can ask yourself, when's the last time you saw an aircraft accident repeat?
Yeah,
It
unlike
does.
car accidents.
Unlike car accidents, they don't.
Yeah.
NTSB isn't involved in those, So.
Yes. We have a lot of organizations that were referred to us because their auditor wrote them up for nonconformance, and they're struggling to come up with or getting a response that the auditor can accept. So,
Yeah, and that's really accelerated with Rev D, as you can imagine, but for that matter, we see that also happening with ISO 9001 and the new automotive standard IATF 16949, and really everything in between.
yeah.
So
So let's start our discussion by looking at a typical auditor nonconformance request in CR. So here is the AS9100 F Form 4 nonconformity report that you're all so familiar with.
unfortunately,
But what we really want to focus on now is the section that deals with what actions an organization needs to implement to be effective. So here is just that section. So now, the meat of what we want to talk about is actually boxes 23 and 25. But just for a moment, let's take a look at 19 and 20.
yeah, and which are containment and correction. We have so many organizations that struggle with these that it's worth discussing this for a few moments.
Yes, containment actions and corrective actions, those are two different things, but they deal with existing nonconformances.
Exactly. And the root cause and corrective action deal with making sure that nonconformance never happens again.
Yes. Now, containment may not be applicable for all nonconformances, but if it is, define for us the difference between 19 corrective actions and, 19 containment actions and 20 corrections.
Sure. Supposing this pen were a gauge and you're doing an audit on the floor and you pick it up and you find out that this gauge was out of calibration, or maybe the gauge was broken. Corrective action would be getting this gauge either out of service or calibrated, so that that would address this
the
correction,
immediate
correction
problem, but
Right.
it wouldn't be containment. That would require making sure that all the product that was accepted with the bad gauge was either held or recalled or was okay. That how it came out.
Yes, exactly. So that is the containment part, looking at what that nonconformity affected immediately. So let me give you a real world example. I was performing an audit of an aerospace company, and we were looking at the paint shop. And in the paint shop, it turned out that they were, and these are parts that are being installed on combat aircraft, but it turned out that they were painting the parts with the wrong paint. So the containment action is one thing, and the corrective action is something else. The corrective action that they had to take was, number one, stop painting with the wrong paint,
Right.
and start using the right paint. So that was the correction. The containment,
Which would correct the immediate problem,
that would correct the immediate problem.
as required in box 19.
Exactly.
They still have to answer the containment issue.
Right. And so the containment issue, they addressed by looking at, okay, here's the parts that we had painted with the wrong paint, and they stripped those parts and they repainted it, and they thought, well, we got that that was the containment part.
And well, so what about the stuff that they had already shipped?
That was where they got burnt. They addressed the immediate stuff at hand, but they didn't look at, what did they have in downstream and the other processes in an organization, and what had been shipped to the customer. And some of that stuff had been installed on combat aircraft already with the wrong paint.
Wow. So major
Turned out to be
nonconformity.
a major nonconformity.
Yeah.
That's what containment and correction is. Correction is fixing the problem that exists right then. Containment is addressing any issues that came from this. Now, if this pen was out of this gauge was out of calibration, doesn't write very well. This gauge was out of calibration. It may not have affected anything, but I would have to at least go check.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe everything was okay.
Yeah.
And that's fine. But those are the blocks that need to be addressed in the corrective action report, as far as here's what we did to fix it, and here's what we did to contain any issues. Now, one of the real issues that we see in addressing these corrective actions is many organizations take this correction and they put that down as the corrective action. And calibrating this gauge is not going to prevent other gauges from not being calibrated.
Right.
That's what we're going to talk about when we talk about root cause and corrective action.
Right. Which, a point to remember, as important as containment and corrective action is, it doesn't do anything to prevent the situation from happening again. That is root cause and corrective action.
Yeah. So as you can imagine, containment is pretty important. At least to your customers think it's pretty important, and it isn't for downstream processes. But the real game changer is the root cause and corrective action. And we're going to talk about that just a second when we come back.
Yes. So we'll see you in a moment. Learn all about AS9100 Rev D with our new online course. This is the best resource to rapidly get you caught up on what's changed and what's new. Our course guides you through each part of the standard and teaches you how to implement it within your own organization. Each section is broken into bite-sized pieces, allowing you to work through the standard at your own pace. You can access the course as many times as you want, making this the #1 resource for when you need a quick refresh on a specific topic. Buy it today and get the guidance you need to achieve your Rev D certification. So, why do you suppose that root cause and corrective action are so difficult?
Well, again, it's not commonly known for the methodology that really works effectively. And what's commonly pushed is like 5 whys, and that's not the most effective way of doing corrective actions. This is really problem-solving skills, and so it's not like trying to figure out who did what and who's at blame. it's boiled down to its essence, it's problem-solving skills, and unfortunately, this appears to be a lost skill for many organizations.
That's true. The irony is it really is not hard to do.
No, it's quite intuitive, and actually, you probably practice this in your own life if you're successful, and so with the right tools, this becomes quite useful and easy.
That is the key, is using the right tools in the right way. But
yeah.
So join us next week or next episode. We're going to unpack what all of that looks like, what these tools are, how to use them, and you'll see that these things are fairly easy and that you'll definitely be able to use them. So
I know you're excited. You probably won't be able to sleep until the next episode, but we'll see you then.
Yeah. Until then, though, if there's anything you want to see us cover on the show, any questions that you have, stuff that we've covered today or upcoming episodes, please feel free to reach out to us. You can hit us up on our website. You can email us, leave a comment in the section down below. We'd love to hear from you. And until then, thanks for watching.
And if you want to know why my pen's not calibrated, just ask.
Bye.